Look at your phone right now. Not because something important is happening on it, because you have looked at it approximately 150 times today already. The same apps, the same scroll, the same 3-second pause on something that does not matter before moving to the next thing that does not matter. You have done this every day for years. You will do it tomorrow and the day after, and the version of you doing it next Tuesday will be functionally identical to the version doing it right now. This is your life. Not the version you were planning, not the version you were waiting for. This one, the one happening right now while you are reading descriptions and watching videos and telling yourself that things are about to change. They are not about to change. They have not changed in 3 years, maybe 5, maybe longer than you're comfortable admitting. The route to work is the same. The conversations are the same. The worries are the same worries in slightly different costumes. The Sunday feeling is the same Sunday feeling it has always been. And when you lie down tonight, the quiet thought that arrives, the one you push away immediately because it is too heavy to hold, is the same thought that was there last night. You have been living the same year on repeat. And the most disturbing part is not that it is happening, it is that somewhere along the way, you stopped noticing. The loop became the background. The repetition became the texture of daily life. And you built a very convincing performance of a person whose life is in motion, while the actual interior experience has been standing in the same place for longer than you want to count. Friedrich Nietzsche had a thought experiment for this. He called it the eternal recurrence. Imagine that you will have to live this exact life again, not a version of it, this one. Every Tuesday, every scroll, every conversation that went nowhere, every day that dissolved into the next without leaving a mark. Every moment of going through the correct motions while something underneath quietly asked whether this is all there is. All of it, repeated, forever. The question he was asking was not philosophical, it was personal. Could you bear it? And if the answer is no, then the question that actually matters is what you are going to do about the life you are living right now. There's a reason the loop never gets talked about honestly. Admitting it out loud feels like a confession of failure, so instead people perform. The office worker who tells colleagues about the holiday they are planning as if the planning itself is evidence of a life in motion. The person who changes their Instagram bio every 6 months. New city, new role, new version of the same interior restlessness in a different postcode. The 40-year-old at the dinner party who uses the word busy as a synonym for alive, as though filling the hours and inhabiting them are the same thing. They are not the same thing. Hannah Arendt spent years studying what she called labor, the work tied to biological survival, eating, cleaning, earning, maintaining. She made an observation so simple it is almost violent in its accuracy. This kind of work never completes itself. You eat today, and tomorrow you are hungry again. You clean the house, and within a week it needs cleaning again. You pay this month's bills, and next month's bills are already forming. The work that sustains human existence does not produce finished things, it produces maintenance. And maintenance is where most of a human life actually happens. Not in the boardroom, not in the moment of triumph. In the kitchen at 7 in the morning making the same breakfast. In the car on the same road. In the inbox that empties and refills. In the body that needs the same things every day regardless of what the mind has planned. This is not a modern problem. The farmer in 16th century France woke before sunrise to tend the same land for 40 years. The factory worker in industrial England crossed the same gate every morning for decades. The mother in any century, in any country, performed the same gestures of care, largely without recognition, for years that blurred into each other. Repetition is not an accident of your specific life. It is the basic mechanism of all human existence. And the reason it feels like a personal failure is not because something went wrong with you, it is because you were taught to expect something else entirely. Here's the thought that most people have had and almost nobody says out loud. I am going to spend the majority of my life doing things I did not choose for people who will not fully appreciate it in exchange for money that disappears before the month ends toward a retirement that may arrive too late to enjoy inside a body that is breaking down the entire time without asking permission. This is not pessimism. This is an accurate description of an average human life, And the reason it feels dangerous to say is not because it is wrong, it is because it is largely right, and we have built an entire culture around not looking at it directly. Alain de Botton has spent his career documenting the specific damage this causes. The gap between the life a person is living and the life they were promised is not a trivial discomfort. It is one of the primary engines of modern suffering. Not because the actual life is unbearable, but because the mind is constantly measuring it against a standard that was installed before the person was old enough to examine whether the standard made any sense. Think about the person who spent 4 years studying for a career they were told would be meaningful and spends their actual working life in meetings that could have been emails. The person who moved to the new city because the old city was the problem and discovered 6 months later that they had brought the problem with them. The person who finally got the relationship they thought would make the interior feeling change and found the interior feeling waiting for them on the other side of the honeymoon period, patient, unchanged, wearing a slightly different expression. The problem was never the specific city, the specific job, the specific person. The problem was the story that any of those things would finally make the gap close. Alain de Botton calls this status anxiety, the relentless comparison between what you have and what you were told you should have by now. And the conclusion the mind draws when the comparison comes up short is always the same. Something is wrong with me, not with the promise, with me. Nothing is wrong with you. The premise was wrong, but you will spend years not knowing that, treating the ordinary texture of your life as evidence of personal deficiency rather than evidence that the story you were sold was designed to keep you buying rather than to tell you the truth. Here is where it gets truly disturbing. Consider what you actually remember of your life so far. Not the summary version, not the story you tell at dinner parties, the actual texture. Specific mornings, specific conversations, the sensory detail of a specific Tuesday 3 years ago. Take a moment and try to locate it. Any Tuesday, any ordinary day from 3 years ago. It is not there. Not because something is wrong with your memory, because the human brain does not record what repeats itself. Henri Bergson understood this a century before neuroscience confirmed it. Real experienced time is not what clocks measure, it is what consciousness can actually inhabit. And consciousness only inhabits fully what it encounters as new. What repeats becomes invisible. What becomes invisible gets erased. The cognitive psychology on this is precise and quietly horrifying. Episodic memory depends on novelty to create markers in time. Without novelty, there are no markers. Without markers, the days merge. Without separation, the years compress. This is why a decade of repetitive living can feel in memory like a single long Tuesday. Not because nothing happened, because what happened was identical to what happened the day before and the day before that. You have been alive for however many years you have been alive. Now honestly calculate how much of that you can actually recall in any specific detail. Not events, not milestones, the actual texture of lived hours. The number is small, possibly shockingly small. The rest, the majority of your actual presence on this earth, dissolved, quietly, without asking permission, while you were performing the routine that was supposed to eventually become something else. Bergson's point was not to create despair, it was to create urgency. A life lived on automatic is not being fully lived, it is being processed. And the difference between processing a life and inhabiting it is the difference between existing and actually being present in your own existence.
There is a specific kind of suffering that almost nobody discusses because it sounds ungrateful. The woman who has the career, the apartment, the relationship, the social life that photographs correctly, and wakes up at 3 in the morning with the specific feeling that she is performing a very convincing forgery of a person whose life is working. The man who ticked every box that was supposed to produce the feeling of arrival and finds himself standing in the kitchen of the correct life, wondering why the interior feeling never got the memo. Not depression exactly, something quieter and possibly more widespread. The experience of having arrived at the destination and discovered it was a parking lot. The map was accurate, the territory was ordinary, and the version of this life that exists from the inside looks nothing like the version that was visible from the outside when it was still the goal. Alain de Botton is precise about why this is so hard to name. The frameworks most people use to understand their suffering have categories for hardship, loss, injustice, failure. They do not have a category for, I built it correctly and it still feels like not quite enough. There is no socially acceptable language for that specific grief, so people carry it privately. They smile at dinners, they post the photographs, they say they're fine, and underneath the fine they're saying with the gap between who they are and who they imagined they would be by now. Not the extraordinary version, the adequate version, the version that was supposed to feel like enough. The almost universal response to this feeling is movement. Change the city, change the career, change the relationship, start again somewhere that the loop has not yet established itself. The logic seems sound. If repetition is erasing experience, then novelty should restore it. And for a while it genuinely does. The brain responds to the new with exactly the burst of aliveness that was missing. Attention sharpens, enthusiasm arrives, the loop breaks, for approximately 3 to 6 months. Then the new thing becomes the familiar thing. The new city becomes the route to work you know by heart. The new relationship develops the same patterns as the previous one because you brought yourself to it. The new career has the same inbox. The novelty wears off and the interior feeling that was supposed to have been solved by the move is sitting in the new apartment waiting, having taken the same flight. This is hedonic adaptation. The brain is not designed to sustain intensity, it is designed to calibrate. Whatever arrives as extraordinary becomes ordinary within months. This is not a defect, it is a feature of a brain that needs to function efficiently across decades. But it means that the relentless pursuit of novelty as a solution to the loop produces something specific over time. Exhaustion dressed as aliveness. A biography that looks from the outside like movement, but observed closely is repeating the same emotional pattern in different locations with different supporting cast. Nietzsche watched this in the people around him and called it the restless modern condition. The person who moves constantly, not because they are going somewhere, but because stopping means confronting what the movement was trying to outrun. And what the movement was trying to outrun is always the same thing: the ordinary, the repetitive, the life that looks nothing like the life that was promised. So if escape does not work, and if the grand transforming moment is not coming, and if most of human existence is genuinely built on repetition, then what? Nietzsche's answer is the one that sounds most like defeat until you actually understand what he was proposing.
Amor Fati, love of fate. Not tolerating your life, not making peace with it in the way that implies a continuing low-level war, actually loving it, including the repetition, including the ordinary Tuesday, including the breakfast and the inbox and the conversation that went nowhere, and the day that dissolved without applause. Loving it not because it is what you wanted, but because it is what is, and because demanding that it be something else is the one guaranteed way to ensure you never actually inhabit the life you have. His formulation is worth sitting with directly. My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, wanting nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not for all eternity. What Nietzsche understood is that the person who is always waiting for the better version of their circumstances is never fully present in the actual version. They are permanently elsewhere, mentally living in the life that is about to start, the one that begins after the promotion or the move or the relationship or the moment when things finally come together. That moment does not come, or it comes briefly and then the brain calibrates and it is gone, and the waiting resumes. The person who applies amor fati is not someone who has given up. They are someone who has stopped splitting their existence between the life they are living and the life they are waiting to live. They are fully in the room they are actually in, not the room they are planning to renovate. And paradoxically, when the mind releases its obsession with the extraordinary, something shifts, not because the life changes, because it is finally being seen without the distortion of comparison. The honest conversation that happened this morning, the repeated effort that nobody applauded, the staying when it would have been easier to leave. None of this is spectacular, and yet it is precisely what human life has always been made of in every century, in every country, in every life that was actually inhabited rather than merely waded through. You have been waiting for your life to start. It started years ago while you were waiting. It has been happening the whole time. The ordinary Tuesdays, the loops, the maintenance, the conversations that went nowhere, the days that dissolved. All of it was the life, not the preview, not the waiting room, the actual thing. The question is not when it is going to begin, the question is whether you are going to be present in what remains of it, or whether you are going to spend whatever time is left waiting for the version that was promised, the version that is not coming, the version that was never the point. Nietzsche's eternal recurrence was not a punishment, it was a diagnostic tool. If you had to live this exact life again, every ordinary Tuesday, every loop, every moment of maintenance and repetition, would you be able to say yes? Would you have lived it in a way that the answer could be yes? That question, right now, is the only one that matters. There is a place where this conversation goes further than this format allows, where the debates go into territory this platform cannot follow, where the videos that were never going to survive here live permanently, where nothing is adjusted to be acceptable. If this video went somewhere specific for you, the link is in the description. It is the private room, and what happens there is nothing like what happens here.